in the race to become Mayor of London. This wealthy businessman, Brian Rose, born in America but now a UK citizen, has been spending huge sums in order to try and secure election. But who is Brian Rose? Why is he so keen to become mayor? And we've been looking into some of his business practices. This is the Michael Crick report for Mail Plus. We found him on the street in Finchley in North London.
Do you like my bus? We've driven this over 4,000 miles to every single borough in London twice. We're going back for the third time right now. Yeah. You know,
in this country we call it a borough.
You got me. I wasn't born here.
He's second favourite with the bookies, albeit 74-1, having put a huge bet on himself. How much did you put on?
Small sum of money.
£10,000?
There's a lot of Londoners
More
that are
or
putting
less?
money. More than 10,000?
Yeah.
More.
20,000.
I'll leave it at that.
Could it be 25,000 you put on yourself?
Be there for it.
It was 20,000 you said. 20,000 we got to before.
You know, I bet on myself every
25,000.
single day. I get out on the bus.
You bet on yourself every single day?
I do.
What, in a bookmaker?
I spend time here on the streets. I'm constantly investing in myself. So thank you. Appreciate the time.
Well, there we are. So we now know that he put something around £20,000 on himself to win, which may explain why, the odds are as they are.
Welcome to Battle Bus Live. I am Brian Rose, and we are live here on the digital Battle Bus, visiting the boroughs of Ealing, Harrow, Southwark, and Lewisham.
Suffolk? Southwark, surely. He claims to have spent £1 million so far, which could be the most expensive personal campaign in British history, with huge billboards all round London.
But isn't the suit a bit sort of what we would call spivish?
Spivish.
A wide boy. In the Second World War, you would have opened up the sleeve, and inside you'd be having all sorts of black market goods for sale.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
A former Wall Street and City banker and one-time heroin addict, Brian Rose first made his name with his self-help YouTube channel, which has 2.2 million subscribers.
I think I finally got the message that I got to stop trying to kill myself.
His firm, London Real, runs online courses in business skills,
Have you ever thought about starting a business but weren't sure if you had the right idea?
charging budding entrepreneurs $3,000 each. Yet many of Rose's students are unhappy. What word would you use to describe the course?
Diabolical.
Why?
What was on the tin was not what you got. Day 5, I told them I was leaving and they refused.
They wouldn't let you leave.
Day 5 into an 8-week course.
And you'd spent $3,000 on it. What was it worth?
A push? $100?
The course promised a money-back guarantee, but she struggled to get a refund till she went through her credit card company.
So I delved into, providing all the evidence that showed the product wasn't what was sold, and that, in actual fact, the whole outfit was a complete farce.
Hundreds of others say much the same. There's even a Facebook group for students who've sought refunds. The organiser accuses Brian Rose of
complete lack of compassion for any of the people that I've dealt with in the group who have tried to reach out to him, who have pleaded with him to give them their money back. And often these people are vulnerable and looked at this as a way of getting them out of a financial position that they were in. And he had no compassion, no sympathy, and didn't in any way at all.
I've graduated over 5,000 students from 108 countries around the world, right? And I've taught them how to build businesses, incredible businesses, podcasts. I've taught them how to do TED Talks that they've spoken at. Like any business, there's always a few people that aren't always happy with the experience.
We're talking about a few here, Mr. Rose.
Yeah, it is
We're
actually
talking
a few.
about a few hundred.
And let me say a few other things. One thing I will say, in my accelerator programs, I demand results. You come in and it's an accountability system.
And they say the courses you give them are in they say that one of the modules was about how you should turn your phone off and go on a country walk.
I have hundreds upon hundreds of video testimonials on my website, 30 minutes in total, from people all around the world that have talked about how they have loved it.
There's a Facebook community of 200 or 300 people
who want refunds from you. I mean, what kind of business is this? It generates a Facebook community of unhappy customers.
Maybe I'm a person that they love to hate. I don't know, but actually, I get
It's
incredible.
not funny.
I'm
This is
super
substantial
proud.
money for them.
Yeah, but I'm super proud of the results that my academy has delivered.
In addition to the basic business course he does, Brian Rose offers an inner circle course where people get one-to-one personal tuition from the man himself. It costs almost $15,000. But last September, 15 people who'd been on the course wrote to Mr. Rose to complain. They said they'd been misled and that over 6 months of doing the course, they'd had less than half an hour one-to-one each. And they wanted their money back.
They said that overall they got less than 30 minutes one-to-one tuition, and they paid $15,000 for that.
That's just not true. I'm incredibly proud of our inner circle. People get a lot of my team. They get a lot of
How much
direction.
tuition do you get? How much time do they get then for their $15,000 from you?
They get hours and hours and hours a month. So build the houses, fix transport, crime, emissions, and then get London back to work.
Some compare him to Trump. He's on the right, a bit of a COVID skeptic, and not yet vaccinated. But on the street, he does strike a chord with some people, and some recognise him.
No, I'm convinced that he's going to do a good job. I'm convinced that, it's different. I like different and I like trust. I feel like I can somewhat trust you.
A lot of Mr. Rose's customers, they go on to these courses. They don't trust him. They're complaining that his courses are a load of rubbish.
Most of
and
them
they're not valued
love
for
my
money.
courses and trust my courses.
And they want refunds.
It doesn't matter what type of business you run, you're going to have people that complain. So
What, hundreds of them?
it depends. Depend on the ratio you sell. Yeah, you're going to have hundreds.
Astonishingly, perhaps because of that £20,000 or so bet that he put on himself, Brian Rose is still the second favourite with the bookmakers, ahead of the Conservative Sean Bailey, though way behind Labour's Sadiq Khan. And it would be an absolute miracle were he to win. But who knows about the future? After all, it's not long ago that people said Donald Trump was unelectable.